Hello and welcome to this video. My name is ActiqueRS, and again I have a controversial opinion about an update that Jagex is planning to do to RuneScape. And I already had one controversial opinion about the bonus XP weekend, and that was responded pretty well. So I'm trying to explain myself as clearly as possible in this video as well, and I hope that you just don't hate me just because I have a different opinion about this than you. And all in all, I just want to raise awareness about this idea, and I want to share my point of view to this idea. So what I want to talk about is the new Legacy Combat mode that was just released by Jagex on the RuneScape website. And there was also added a poll that if we want a Legacy Combat mode introduced to RuneScape. And a Legacy Combat mode pretty much is that there would be the old combat system that was before the evolution of combat, and that would be somehow at the same time in the same servers with the evolution of combat. And the thing with this is that I don't believe it's possible to do it without making the Legacy mode just completely underpowered, or making evolution of combat PvP or PvM just completely obsolete. So if you would be having people that are using old combat system side by side with those people that are using the evolution of combat system, it just can't be that you are killing, for example, abyssal demons for a slayer task. It can't be that the guy who is just clicking one Abbey demon and waiting until it dies, that guy gets 100k Slayer XP per hour, and the other guy who's spamming abilities is also getting 100k Slayer XP per hour. Because if you're spamming abilities, you are doing so much more work, and that's just simply making evolution of combat fighting completely obsolete, because you just can't give the same XP per hour for less the effort. And there are multiple things that just doesn't work with evolution of combat and the old system side by side. For example, if you have Darox, in old school RuneScape, if you have Darox, it can hit up to 70% of the life point of the enemy. So this would mean in evolution of combat terms that you would have Darox sets that are hitting 6.5k to 7k damage with single hit. And we already had this system when the EOC was added. When the EOC was first added to RuneScape, we had a Darox set that was killing every single monster for one hit only. And Jagex found that this was too overpowered and it would just undermine the whole combat system, because you didn't have to do anything. You could, for example, just go to Hellhounds and you would just destroy them completely. You would get around, I think you get like 450k XP in melee if you were just killing Hellhounds with Darox sets. And this is the thing, you just can't have evolution of combat and legacy mode side by side like this. So you can't make a Darox set that is just as powerful as it's in pre-EOC. What about PvP? You are hitting 7k with Darox sets. Is that fine to you? Is that good legacy system? It's just not going to make the legacy system competitive with EOC. You can't have EOC and legacy system on the same servers properly. And what about abilities that are required for PvM? For example, freedom ability. Are you just going to wait until your stun gets over? Or are you going to have a freedom ability in the legacy mode? So for example, if a monster stuns you, you just wait until the stun is over. Or should the legacy mode have no stuns at all, because you didn't have that kind of stuns in pre-EOC, so that all the monsters that are doing stun to the players are now just easier to kill in the legacy mode? And what about Calfight King? You are killing Calfight King in legacy mode, so Calfight King does green attack, your friend says that okay, do provoke and barricade. Oh wait, it's the legacy mode, I don't have to use any abilities. And what does the green attack do? So it kills you? Or you just don't get the green attack at Calfight King? And there are multiple situations where this just doesn't work. It doesn't work that you bring the old combat system back to RuneScape right now and make it similar to what it was before. You cannot do that anymore. And also, I think this poll is completely useless, because we already have the new combat beta, and in the new combat beta you have the revolution ability, which is just taking care of the problem that you need to spam so much when you are killing monsters, and this is already making the combat really nice and casual. And there's also the momentum plus, which allows you to use the special attacks at the same time as you are just fighting the monsters and using momentum. So you can use special attacks and stuff like that in the new evolution of combat modification that is just coming to RuneScape very soon. So I don't think we need to waste any development time on some new evolution of combat fix and making some legacy mode that's just completely obsolete, because there isn't need for that. The evolution of combat is finally reaching the status of being a stable and good game that has some stable XP rates, and you know what kind of XP rates, what kind of monsters give. So let's not stir the pot too much and make it again much more complicated than it has to be. The new combat beta that is around is already fixing all the problems of evolution of combat fighting being just slightly too much for Slayer training. There is hardly any possible way you can bind the XP rates to be the same in the old combat system legacy mode and the EOC at the same time. But on the other hand, I'm kind of all in for having a legacy mode thing for example staking, because I know that people like that so much. So maybe staking legacy mode, maybe even a wilderness legacy mode that has all the weapons up to level 80. But you just can't have people fighting side by side in a Slayer task with a legacy mode getting similar XP as those that are spamming the abilities and doing 10 times the work than the guy who's just using the legacy mode. So if the legacy mode would be introduced like they said in the video, and it would be side by side with the EOC, and you would basically be able to do everything that you are doing in EOC in the legacy mode as well, then there is just two possible outcomes. The first outcome is that the legacy mode is just so much underpowered that it makes absolutely no sense to use the legacy mode. And the second possible outcome is that the legacy mode is making EOC combat obsolete because it's so much less effort. But yeah, I think these are the only things that can pretty much happen with the legacy mode that gets added to RuneScape the same way as they said in the video, and the legacy mode would be side by side. And also remember that legacy mode will kill the old school RuneScape if it is something that was RuneScape 2011 or something like that, RuneScape before EOC. It will definitely kill old school RuneScape for those that enjoy playing old school. So let's not overcomplicate this. Let's have old school people be able to just get upgrades to the game and maybe make the game as close as it was to the PvP that was in the pre-EOC system. And it's already very close to that. It's pretty much missing like Chaotix and Dragon Claws and Turmoil or something like that. And it's just so close to that already, so why not just keep upgrading old school RuneScape like they do and let people enjoy that legacy mode in the old school RuneScape, and let's just have it that way, and let's not try to bring the legacy mode as a part of EOC to the EOC, because EOC is pretty much balanced at the moment and it's working pretty well at the moment. And with the new upgrades that are coming to EOC, it's gonna be everything that you wanted from EOC for the past year of playing a beta version of EOC. EOC is finally balanced, it's finally fine-tuned, and it's finally feeling like a complete product, a complete system of combat, and not a beta version of game that was not tested and is full of glitches and everything like that. So I feel that the only thing that a legacy mode that Jagex is trying to just scramble into one big game of RuneScape is gonna bring just more bugs, more problems with the XP rates, more destroying the balance of the XP rates and stuff like that. And even the news about the new system of combat is already making the market go crazy. Some items are going up in price, some items are going down in price, and everybody is panic selling everything and panic buying the other thing. Everything you need from a legacy mode is already coming to RuneScape in the form of the new upgrade to the evolution of combat in the new beta, making another beta and making another thing that you're gonna add to the combat system is just gonna shape everything all over again, and you have to find again all the XP rates and XP methods for everything. So just, I don't know, I don't want the legacy system to RuneScape. I don't want that at all. I might be okay with having a legacy system for a wilderness in a special world, or maybe a couple of special worlds, I might be okay with having a legacy staking system, but just take it away from PVM. You can't have that in PVM. There's no way to balance EOC and legacy at the same time at the same servers. They don't work together. So just forget about it, in my opinion. And yeah, I hope that you make some discussion about this video, and I hope you leave some comments of what do you think about it. I of course have a controversial opinion about it, because I don't want the legacy mode, and I don't want Jagex to spend some money on the legacy mode when they could just be spending the time to create a real content to RuneScape, like a couple of new quests or maybe even a new boss or something like that. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed my opinion about it and hearing my opinion about it. But yeah, this is how I feel about the legacy mode, so it's a bit controversial. But yeah, if you like this video, please leave it a like and leave some comments, and see you guys next time.